Honorable Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe's address to Japanese Parliament will be telecasted at 10 p.m. tonight.
ජපානයේ මිල සංචාරකයන්ට ශ්‍රී ලංකා අද ජපාන පාර්ලිමේන්තුව ආමන්ත්‍රණය කළා. රාජ්‍ය නායකයන්ට බෙද සුවිශේෂ අවස්ථාවක්. ඊට ප්‍රථම මෙවැනි අවස්ථාවක් ඉදිරියේ යාත්‍රා මාර්ගයෙන් සම්බන්ධ මමයි මෙතරම් කාල වේලාවක් ජපාන පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට අවස්ථාවක් ලැබුණේ.
His Excellency the Speaker, His Excellency the Prime Minister, distinguished members of the Diet, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure and privilege and respect that I address this august audience. We have been in your country for 3 days and we are leaving back to Sri Lanka tomorrow. My delegation, including my wife and of course myself, were made to feel more than at home by your unique, sincere and warm hospitality and the courtesies integral and inherent to the people of Japan. We were extremely touched by the most cordial and congenial reception extended by the government of Japan as well. On this momentous occasion, I wish to take this opportunity to convey our good wishes and sincere appreciation on behalf of President Maithripala Sirisena, the Parliament and the people of Sri Lanka, to His Imperial Majesty the Emperor, the Prime Minister, the Government, the National Diet and the people of Japan. The last speech made by the first Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Independent Sri Lanka, D.S. Naka, was of the Japanese peace treaty. Speaking on 29 February 1952, he said, "We can congratulate ourselves on being a party to this peace treaty. This is the first opportunity that Japan is getting to establish herself. We should not harbor anger and try to keep the Japanese people down." 22 days later, he was dead. A month after his death, Sri Lanka fulfilled its policies by establishing diplomatic relations between the two countries. D.S. Naka was of the view that the post-war world should not be dominated by Western powers and the USSR. Therefore, he did not waver in the belief that it was necessary to encourage Japan to restart its economic development. His thinking was similar to that of Prime Minister Yoshida, and because of his conviction and foresight, he waived war repatriations from Japan to Sri Lanka.
This address lasted for half an hour, and during the speech, parliamentarians, ministers and the Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe stood up from their seats to applaud for a few minutes. Subsequently, the Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe, addressed the parliament and stated that Sri Lankan Prime Minister is a long-standing friend of Japan and he had visited Japan 8 times. Subsequent to the address of Japanese Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and his delegation were hosted a luncheon by Japan-Sri Lanka Parliamentary League. The Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe held discussions with Secretary of Japanese Cabinet, Mr. Yoshihide Suga, and later on in the evening, he held discussions with Japanese Minister of Economics and Industries, Mr. Yukichi Misawa, at Imperial Hotel. Subsequently, the Prime Minister was accorded with Army Guard of Honor. After receiving the Guard of Honor, the Prime Minister held bilateral talks with his counterpart, and they had discussed the issues faced by both the governments. The Prime Minister is due to meet the Emperor of Japan, ending his 5-day tour.
ජපාන් විර සංචාරය තුළ ශ්‍රී ලංකා අග්‍රාමාත්‍ය අලෙක්සිස්තුමා හෙට ජපාන අධිරාජ්‍ය නියෝජනයයි අද පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ ඇමතීමෙන් පසු ශ්‍රී ලංකා අග්‍රාමාත්‍යයා තවත් කපු කාරණාවලට සම්බන්ධ වුණා. ඒ දෙරටේ සහායකතාවය බහල් වුණා. හෙට ජපාන අධිරාජ්‍යයත් සමග පැවැත්වෙන සාකච්ඡා තවත් ශ්‍රී ලංකාවටත් ජපානයටත් එරෙහිව බොහෝ දෙනෙක් විශ්වාස කරනවා.